again.
Zach.
Hola! Welcome to another fine, mighty episode of PG-13 with Clara and Lumberjack Zach.
Introducing Lumberjack Zach.
King of Lumberjacks.
Out there in Colorado. Just Lumberjack.
Well, not in real life. Only in Dimension X.
Okay.
If you want me to Lumberjack in this dimension, tough. Uh-oh.
Oh, looks like we're
You
back.
went out for a second. You back?
We both did. That's weird. Well.
Oh, well.
We'll keep an
any
eye on it.
hoozles. Dimension X, blah, blah, blah.
Have you ever actually chopped wood?
Oh, been to Dimension X? I thought you were going to ask. Have I chopped wood? Of course.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Tons of wood.
I have too, but I almost chopped
Don't ever question my wood chopping prowess.
Oh, okay. I would.
You don't
never
do that to a man. Where were you raised that you would ever question a man's wood chopping ability?
I'm learning so many things about men from you, about how to not suggest that they have never used an axe. Pardon.
Yeah, just growing up, Boy Scouts, military, and then I had one summer, when I did community college, and my father retired from the Army.
Mm-hmm.
I know what word you're thinking about.
I know.
Shame on you. Shame on you. My father retarded from the Army.
He retired from the Army. How old were you at the time?
21-ish, 22,
okay.
21.
Fresh-faced. Okay.
Oh, whatever. I was old-faced. You don't even know.
I look younger now than I did then.
I was old meat-face is what they called me.
Speaking of being old, I legitimately forgot to tell you this in real life. This gave me such mixed feelings. You remember when you made fun of me for going down to the grocery store and getting that $3 wine that I get?
Yeah, $3 box wine. Classy.
Yeah. Do you know what didn't happen when I bought that this time?
No. What?
I didn't get carded, Zach.
Oh no. That's a big moment. I remember when that happened for my wife.
But you said she was not getting carded until she was much older. She hung on to it for a long time.
I'd say late 30s. Suddenly she started. Not suddenly. It just
suddenly.
Suddenly.
A wild not carding appears.
Yeah.
Everybody hit the deck.
Yeah,
sorry.
But that's a significant thing I think for a woman, and
well, to be fair, openly, I looked like butt that day.
Oh, did you?
I really did. I had not showered. I was wearing a baseball cap and sport something, and just I was not looking my best at all. So that's fair, but still, it was oh wow, okay, well, and I mean, I worked enough retail to know, we're told to. I don't know what the rules are at the Hy-Vee, but what we were told is to card if they look under 40.
Oh, yeah. I heard the Hy-Vee and Piggly Wiggly are almost identical for the rule sets. What do you say?
I have no idea. I've never been to a Piggly Wiggly. What region of the U.S. are they in?
Oh, they're in Nebraska.
Oh.
If that's, I think, the only place I ever saw a Piggly Wiggly. Shout out all the people who grew up with Piggly Wigglies. But I hear they're one-for-one comparable. FYI.
One of those.
Now you know.
Regional grocery store chains are one of those, and I will remember to get back to your story of wood chopping, but regional grocery store chains are one of those things that people get real defensive about, because the minute you move to another region, you realize how stupid the name of the chain you grew up with is, and then you move
Publix and Safeway. What the? Get out of here.
I grew up on the East Coast. I grew up in D.C., and the regular grocery stores there were Super Fresh and Food Lion. And now I know that, those are absurd names.
I remember Food Lion, I think, is in Virginia. I lived in Norfolk for a while.
Yeah. That's on the East Coast there. I forgot you were in Maryland there.
Well, not Maryland.
Well, you were in the general area.
Once I get done telling you about the states, then I'll tell you about the birds and the bees. But that talk's going to be delayed now because you don't know how many states are. You don't know the state of Virginia that was right next to Maryland.
I do know it because I lived in
You know
Maryland.
nothing.
I lived right next to Virginia, and I have family members in Virginia.
No, you don't.
Tell me the wood chopping story of when you were 21 and not fresh faced.
You just are trying to evade your orphan child floating down the river story.
Yeah.
And they found you in Maryland Bay in like a bed of clams.
A wonderful, just like wriggling nest of crabs about to be
Yeah.
covered with Old Bay. Oh man, we would have crab fests too. We were a stereotype.
Someone with like a John Waters accent, you know.
Yep.
I can't even do it. You don't have a Baltimore accent. I was gonna pull up a Baltimore accent and then realize that would take a lot of work because
yeah, I can barely. I just know to say Bullmore. And otherwise, I really don't. I never quite got it. I don't know why I never ended up with like an accent per se. But you know, cities are not homogenous enough to really land a heavy accent.
I agree.
I think I told you when I lived in Atlanta, I was afraid everything would be like heavy Southern accents everywhere.
Hey y'all.
Yeah, and
I'm done with college, y'all. Hey, Mom, Paul.
Literally, I heard one of those in the 4 years I was there. So major cities don't really apply in the accent territory.
Yeah, you weren't in BFE, Mississippi. Hey, y'all.
Yeah, none of that. Okay, tell me your wood chopping story, and then we will play a super fight.
Okay, this is emergency wood chopping talk. So prepare. So anyhow, I'd finished community college after I got out of the Marines and was just working construction and crap. And I was going to following a girl to Mississippi State. That always works out.
Yep.
Not every college, but whenever you follow someone to a
good job.
A crepey. Yeah, I caught myself. It can learn.
You're gonna win this.
It can learn. So, any hoozles. That summer, I had no place to live because the next semester didn't start. So, I went out to a family friend's farm and basically just worked there. I had a day job at ITL as animating for the government, which I know I've told you about before.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And then, but I had to basically work all my other time on this farm, just kind of, it's more like a ranch. No real animals or anything, but you had to like maintain a lake and barns and rip trees out of the ground. And I built the barn with the guy.
Just with your bare hands. I imagine you just embracing a tree and just manually tearing it out.
Just deadlifting it.
Yes. Just very, very toothy. The sun glittering behind you.
Like a Nordic Paul Bunyan without an axe. Shit. Crap. Crap's in the Bible, so
you're good. You're good.
But the S word happened. We got one now. Where was I? How I got good with an axe? So chopping wood. My Lord, Clara, you'd lead me everywhere. You're not to be trusted in a conversation.
Never.
So that's it. I just had to chop countless stacks of wood. When we had there'd be big piles, like we'd have to clear an area. He'd like hook up the tractor, so he had hydraulics to these kind of like wood chopping like hydraulic machines, but usually it was just my dumbass with an axe and got, I don't want to say I was the best wood chopper, but
would you like me to say it for you?
Thank you.
He was the best. He was the best wood chopper. He didn't even need an axe. He would just chop with his hands. It was terrifying.
Yeah, I chopped it with my chi. So I would karate chop and I'd stop a molecule before the wood. My chi would follow through it and split it.
It would just blast apart beautifully. You're flying in multiple directions and everyone else be like, you were supposed to collect that.
We need that.
It's like you're missing the point. Show off. Here's Howard again, just ruining everyone's job. Ugh.
Everybody's gonna be cold again tonight because Howard has to explode the wood with his chi.
Everyone go buy more blankets because Howard is being cool again.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. My baby's got the shivers, Mr. Chi Wood Splitter.
I hope you're happy with yourself. Ugh.
My father died from a series of wood chi splitting accidents.
A wood chi split, not a splitter, a wood chi split specifically in and of itself killed my family and burned my village.
The entire village, mercilessly.
Yeah.
It just,
the whole thing just blew apart like that log you just wasted. Now my baby's gonna freeze.
I've seen wood exploding like that before. I never thought I'd see it again.
The camera zooms in slowly and you squint and there's like a musical sting. It's like, oh.
So, yeah, I just chopped a lot of wood. This will lead into some crazy pants stuff. So,
crazy pants, eh?
This dude was nuts. He's probably dead now.
Are you about to tell the story of like the one like, testosterone crazy guy at your job that you knew that every guy knows?
Nah, he wasn't like testosterone. He's legitimately nuts.
Okay.
So his wife was married to this guy. It was like his second or third marriage or something. And he was smart and everything.
How old was he that this was his second or third marriage?
Oh, he was at the time, I would say, late 50s.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I think it was his second wife, but had built a nice, like, kind of non-animal ranch out in BFE, Mississippi. It's like between, Jackson, Mississippi, and Vicksburg, which is right on the river. So, anyways,
okay, I know where Vicksburg is.
Yeah. So just east of Vicksburg, think like 20, 30 minutes. Also, where my turkey story happens.
Oh, which we haven't heard yet. I think now we're just being huge teases about
literally within probably 5 minutes of each other here. So
interesting.
Anywho's a boozles. So I was just going to live out there for the summer and, just help around the ranch and stuff. Well, anyways, this guy was a pretty good dude, ex-Vietnam vet. And, a little gruff, but, seems like a fun guy. We fished at his lake and had played cards with him and blah, blah, blah. Again, a gruff ex-military guy, but decent enough. Not an idiot.
I'm just imagining old Rambo right now. Does that work?
Well, I was gonna say I was about to say too short, but we all know no, I'm not that tall. I stand on heels and I'm still kind of tiny, Hey.
He makes up for it though.
With what?
with sheer power. He's so like he posts these workout videos on Instagram.
Oh, he's a monster, huh?
He's a monster. He is still terrifying. Like, how old is he now? He is so powerful. It's
70s.
Oh man. Like, I assume by the time a guy is in his 70s, I feel like I could get the better of him, but that man could break me in half with his eyeballs.
Okay, enough of your fantasies, but Miss Clara.
He could pick me up with his eyeballs, like poke them out like a cartoon. And break me in half. See, now you know all my fantasies.
Making me quiver.
So tell me the story of this dude.
So he was just absolutely insane and was like really passive aggressive and things. So he started like working. Right? I'd like work like 10-hour days, then lift weights and then come home and he'd like scream at me. I should have been home earlier to help this and that. And, there's nothing to do except on the weekends I do. That's what the kind of the arrangement was. But I was like, okay. But then he just started going insane. Nothing was good enough. And
was he like, do you think he was legitimately like pre-senile or something?
No, I just think he was a bitter a-hole.
Yeah.
is what I think. He was cognitive of being a piece of S.
Okay.
So, anyways, this is people been jerks their whole lives.
Totally.
It's just
They just
how
do
it
it.
works. Yeah, it's just like a rut in the road. Anyways, we're like, here, I'll tell you some crazy. Once we were pulling a tree out of the ground. He wasn't paying attention. His like arm hit the lever, and the backhoe hit me on the head and like knocked me out. And I woke up with him standing over me, just saying, "Get up" and stuff like that. And no apologies ever or anything like that. Dude almost killed me.
Yeah.
And here's another time we're building. We built like a kind of like an open barn for him to put his gigantic boat in,
right?
And stuff. And of course, that was a nightmare working with him on it.
Old guys in their boats, man.
It's guys that don't get their dorks touched enough usually. Boats and trains are suddenly interesting. You're into the same things you were as a kid again.
Yeah,
so
there's probably something to that psychology.
You get into like dump trucks and stuff. Cops.
Mini train setups, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so we're up there, the whole nightmare project, but like, it was like the middle of summer, like July in Mississippi, just hot
and humid, right?
Oh, it's like living in somebody's mouth after they ate hot soup. Yeah, sorry, turning you on again, but
I know. I was gonna say if I can't make jokes about Sylvester Stallone breaking me in half with his eyeballs, you cannot make a reference to living in somebody's mouth.
Soup, and then we'd. I thought I'd toss you around, you know.
We're just carrying it around in my mouth.
I'd just put you in my mouth and I'd be like, hey, it's kind of warm in there. You clammy yet? Oh. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyhow, we're roofing one day, and this is before he got heat stroke, because then he ended up getting heat stroke, and then I had to finish roofing everything myself. He literally, I'm on the roof working, it's 2 stories, so you got to take a ladder up there. I hear him plodding on up, and he'd work, but I was the workhorse, which is whatever. I'm living in his house. Right. And I am not afraid of work, just afraid of crazy jerks. And he has a pistol on his hip.
While working on the roof? In case of roof bandits?
He then starts talking about ways he could kill me and get away with it and collect insurance and stuff like that.
No.
And I had no way off. He's standing by the ladder. And after that, and I didn't know how to talk to my parents about this because they were good friends with these people and stuff. Right. And
how do you talk to anyone about that? That's bonkers.
Yeah, I'm a depressed 19-year-old savage of a person too, so I just
I mean, nobody can accomplish anything at 19. Almost not. Like, it's very hard to
21 or whatever I was at this time. Regardless, I was just starting to get my shit together, but I was socially retarded and all these things like that. So eventually I told my father, because he wrote my father a message what a terrible person I was, because what happened then, the base gym, the lady that worked it, she was going on vacation and they lost one of their other employees. So I started, after 10-hour days, animating at this place called ITL, Information Technology Labs, which had the biggest computer in the world at the time.
Oh, cool.
But they crushed all the original Jurassic Park computer animation on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My dad has a fun story about that.
You're not old enough to have lived this crazy life.
It's not a crazy life. There's people that go to war and stuff,
I guess that's it's crazy to me, but I guess it doesn't mean anything. Anyway, sorry, I keep interrupting. What happens to this guy that hated you for no reason? Were you terrible?
No, man, I was dead silent all the time. Just
okay. He just wanted someone to hate.
That was pretty mean. Yeah, he had issues. He was mean to his wife, and they had like this weird live-in maid lady, but also friends with the wife, and I didn't quite know what was going on there.
Okay.
And it was a big house,
So
big old ranch.
On a scale of not to hella, how racist was this guy?
I never got too much vibe from him. I think he just didn't like people.
Okay.
I never heard a slur or anything. However, it would not surprise me if he had some deep-seated bigotries.
Yeah.
But he would like get drunk and start telling me about killing people in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like going through a hole and fighting people underground and stuff like that. He had crazy stories, but he is also kind of a effed up, terrifying guy at the same time.
He didn't use slurs in those stories while drunk, though. That's kind of impressive.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
I don't remember that, at least.
All right.
So sorry to disappoint.
No, I'm trying to paint an elaborate picture of this guy that is not Sylvester Stallone anymore.
I would say like 5'9", like an X-strong body, but now the fishing gut, but still strong forearms, short beard, gray, half bald.
Yeah.
Could come off gregarious, but he was always kind of looking down on others, and he just lacked respect. And I mean, this is the guy that I went to my friend's wedding. I worked all the time for this guy.
Right.
I took off a Saturday afternoon and went to my friend's wedding. Mm-hmm. My car even broke down. The battery died and blah, blah, blah. This is when I had a 67 Mustang.
Yeah. That's right. When you were a car guy.
Yeah. And I got back finally home after this crappy day. And the first thing he's out there by his boat, like putting it away. He's like, I wanted to go take this out to the there's a big giant lake near Jackson, Mississippi or something like that. And, but you ruined our day. And I'm like,
you knew I wasn't going to be here.
I went to my friend's wedding.
Yeah.
This is, anyways, he had that gun that day and it just freaked me out. And then he got heat stroke and couldn't work anymore. And I was so relieved.
Yeah.
But then he wrote my father a nasty note, and I eventually told them, and my father's like, I didn't know any of that was going on and stuff. Yeah. And I just didn't know how to talk to anybody. And like this guy, I used to have the door locked at night because I figured if he had to break through a lock, I at least had a moment to kind of wake up and get ready to fight the ninjas and stuff like that. And so I didn't get a lot of sleep. And then I started working at this gym. So I'd work like 10 hours animation for the government. And then I'd go work at the gym till close at night at 9 p.m. And then I'd get home at the other, back to the farm. It'd be after 10. And, then the next day starts, you got to get up at 5 so you can get to the base and because he had security and everything. Like I had to have a security clearance to work at ITL and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. People are trying to break in. The Super Cray computers were there at the time. Right. And they are the world's fastest computers.
Is that
most powerful?
I've heard that term. Is that just like the brand or something? Like, what does that signify?
These were just supercomputers back in the day. Cray. They were just like it had this robot arm. It's like these Super Cray computers that had these shelves of like processors. And this robot arm would just be flying around, grabbing chips, putting them out here, putting it over here. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I've seen footage of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and my buddy ran security for it. He was like a super genius mathematician and coder.
Wow.
Dave Gilliam, shout out if for some reason you ever hear this, saved my life. He was also a gamer. And when I lived in super depressed and Vicksburg, Mississippi, to this day, one of the worst cities I ever lived in. He invited me. He had this like gaming night that I found through another person and he just invited people. He's this kind of wealthy or well-to-do bachelor that was in his like late 20s, and he'd just have gaming night, and just a herd of dorks would be over there, and we became pretty good buddies, man. Me and him.
Good. Oh, that's nice.
Good dude. Severe porn addiction, but we all can't be perfect, like Clarfa me.
Of course.
No, why don't I just toss you through the window and turn you on?
I mean, I can't chop wood like you, so I'm obviously not
chop
perfect.
your wood.
Nobody's ever threatened to shoot me off of a roof because they hated everybody.
I didn't know what to do in that situation. I was like, can I bum rush him, kind of zigzagging and push him off the roof? But then I got murder charges,
Right.
I don't know, I didn't know what to do, man.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah. He was a terrifying man. He'd get drunk and just talk about killing people.
Did he? Was that Vietnam stuff?
Yeah, he was effed up.
Yeah,
he was effed up.
Yeah.
It's just a testament we don't take care of our soldiers.
No. That's
now sometimes there's just effed up people. Granted.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would love to know, what he was like before Vietnam in this context.
Probably a POS.
Yeah.
This guy was just. There's just some people that are just born mean and ugly, and
Yeah.
You get older, and you can put that in. There's a lot of things that mess people up.
Yeah. Well, Vietnam is definitely one of them.
Yeah, and probably a combination of things: Vietnam and bad upbringing or something.
And his wife stayed with him, huh? So he must not have been all that different.
They eventually got divorced.
Okay.
My mother told me.
Oh.
But he at the end said, "Your son is not the person I thought he was," because I got another job, and I was like, I can't.
Oh, you just didn't want to hang around and kiss his boot, like.
That's why I worked a 3-hour job after my 10-hour job every day. I had enough money for college.
Yeah.
He
just wanted to be the only one.
I just didn't want to go home until he was asleep.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, that's scary.
So I just would work, man.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well, so that's when I got really good at chopping wood.
Okay.
If you must know.
Well, that's the backstory of the new American hero, Lumberjack Zach.
Lumberjack Zach.
Da-da-da. He has a theme song and everything.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well,
that was fascinating.
Yeah. There's one little summer story.
Wow.
I actually left and went to college early, like 2 weeks, because the where we were renting an apartment, they said I could move in because the other people were gone and it was like ready. So I was like, as long as I had my deposit, I could move in. So I did. Sure. So I went to school like 2 weeks early and just was in the wonderful Starkville, Mississippi,
right,
for 2 extra weeks, just lifting weights.
Yeah.
So
well, hey, you survived.
Hey, by the way, people that were asking how I did this frizzy hair of Tomas.
Oh yeah. Let's actually refer to some art at some point on our ostensible comic show.
Yeah, so, nobody cares. 7 people watch this?
I know, right?
They've heard all our BS anyways. We're running out. We're going to have to move past trying's half the battle and actually do something.
I know. That'll be hard.
I know, because everybody knows how lazy you are.
Yep, the worst.
Lazy Pants Clara. That's your OnlyFans channel.
Yeah. I just sit around and don't do anything.
Lazy Pants.
I just eat pretzels and like the left third of the screen, and like I don't look at the camera.
Readjust your baseball cap.
Yes, that apparently makes me look like I'm over 40. I think it's a very cute baseball cap.
You're making all the boys sweat for tonight. So
yes.
Okay. So anyways, I think a zebra is the best for when I'm doing like a black person's type, traditional type of black person's hair, especially at this time when they would like part it and things like that. It was kind of unfortunately either probably forced socially or pressured socially to be more Anglo as far as the fashions. And so that's how I came up with Tomas's hair being Creole Freeman American, and then being messy and on the trail, and they just wrestled in the dirt. Speak Clara's speak.
That's what I say all the time.
They wrestling, Zach? That's how Clara asked me when she first saw this.
Yeah.
Then she tooted. Southern style.
With an accent.
Yes, that she learned only at SCAD. That's what her money gave you, Mom and Dad.
Yep.
Southern farts.
Yep.
Authentic Southern farting.
Yep. The best kind.
Ooh, is that a Creole toot? Hey boy, I haven't heard a toot like that since I was in the bayou.
But I was deaf between those times, so that's explicable.
I was blind from drinking moonshine, so excuse me if I don't recognize your face. And boy, is that an ugly face. Anyhow, I'm gonna go back to the swamp.
It's my swamp. It loves me.
Ding, 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 ding. That's what plays when he walks.
Yeah,
it's like, where's the banjo coming from?
That's just the sound of his joints.
His joints make dueling banjo music.
Yeah, it's a very horrific condition, but unfortunately it sounds very comedic.
It's called Cajun dueling knees or dueling hips.
It's similar to the condition Sylvester Stallone has when his eyeballs bug out and he grabs you with them.
You told me. I got a question about Sylvester Rocky. So you know how Rocky, one of the greatest movies ever made?
Yep, I am familiar.
Since I was a kid, I had a problem, and I'm sure this has been discussed. You know, I don't listen to like film stuff or really anyone. Except Mr. T. That's my wisdom.
You heard it here, folks. Zach does not listen to anyone.
Except Mr. T.
Except Mr. T. Okay.
Stay in school.
That's
The end.
Not really applicable when you're like a grown adult.
Stay in school. He didn't say a time limit.
No, okay. Stay in school forever. Oh, what a hell.
Stay in school, kids and adults. Pretty much everyone.
Till you die.
Fool. God, I used to love him.
God,
I still love Mr. T, man. Well, they don't have any good pop culture icons anymore. Why? Nobody as cool as Mr. T. No, he played Clubber Lang. He's gonna bang Adrian, and Rocky couldn't do anything about it. Ooh, Adrian, you want a real man? Rocky's all up crying up on the steps and everything. That's a hero, Clubber Lang.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you're welcome. So anyways, back to Rocky talk, real serious Rocky talk.
Yeah, your problem with Rocky.
So ever since I was a kid, one scene bugged me, and that's when the first date with Adrian, he just date rapes her, and then they're dating.
It kind of does.
Kinda.
She
does. Says no.
Yeah, I don't remember it very well, but yeah, that was definitely rough. That was
How do guys even stay tumescent if I'll never understand that, first of all. But whatever, wired differently. Claire is the one into Psycho. She can tell us.
I don't have an answer.
Answer.
I demand
an answer. But yeah, that just bugs me. Why date rape? Why couldn't he come up with something that's not?
Like, they spent the preceding part of the movie clubbing us over the head with what a good guy he is. Like he talks.
He's like, I don't hear you saying no. Why didn't you say no? I was screaming no. What?
Yeah.
This is the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only answer I have. It was the 70s, man. Like you can't excuse it, but you can explain it.
Probably well said, Clara, but it just ever since a kid it bugged me. So I don't know if I have like that goofy chivalry in me, but it just like what? And then you're like, this is just like the most brilliant movie, and you have nothing but good memories of it, and then you watch it again, and she's like, no. And he's like, I don't know, I'm just gonna keep going here.
Yeah,
you know?
like,
how about I put my mouth on your face? We're dating now.
Yeah. Rough
So
start.
Philly courtship was something else in the
It
mid
was
70s.
apparently.
So I don't know. Me too, Rocky. I don't know.
I mean, he wrote that too, didn't he?
Yes, like in his
Ugh.
car. It's a cool story, you know.
It is. It's. I mean, most of it is. It's. I mean, most of it. Here I go. You know, explaining that Rocky is in fact an impressive film, like an idiot. But like,
Hey, you know what I just saw? It's great. You should see it.
What is it? Rocky. Rocky.
So it's a story about an Italian with a melting face that just needs one chance to prove that he's not a loser, Clara.
Oh.
And know what he does? He endears you by bouncing a ball, having a brother that sings a song by a tire fire, and
drinking eggs.
Date rapes really meek, emotionally abused young lady.
I was gonna say drinking eggs, but that works too.
Hey, how do you think I got the energy to date rape?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. It's such an amazing movie, and then there's date rape in it.
Well,
come on now.
A lot of the old ones are gonna have that though. That's the challenge we face now.
Yeah, oh yeah,
With
just Casablanca. Shut up, lady. Slap.
Yeah. Even though he was much shorter than her.
She could probably grab his wrist and bend it. Owie, stop! Ow!
With his alcohol riddled bones. Yeah, she could probably break him in half with her eyeballs.
Probably. Yeah, stop it. No means no. And she's like, shut up. I'll show you, Casa. Here's looking at you, kid.
That's great. Why hasn't that been used in like a Tropic Thunder type parody? Like here's looking at you, kid.
Opens a suitcase and it's just some horrible sex device.
Or
here's looking at you.
Yeah, just use it as a threat, you know, and right before shooting somebody, as a final callback. Oh gosh. All right, we're already more than halfway through, so let me break out some Superfight cards.
Clara's gotta lose at Superfight.
I can't lose every time, statistically
Clara's
speaking.
What do you mean, statistics? Based on what?
Based on statistics. I have to win some type. I have a 50-50 chance.
Statistics don't define themselves.
Okay. How else would you like me to phrase it? I have a 50-50
You need
chance.
to have metrics to say that something is statistically viable.
Okay. Well, meanwhile on Mathcast, we can talk about that later.
Well, like I guess if you want to get really abstract, meteor crashes through my house and breaks through my house, and it just creates like a hole in the ceiling. I'm like, oh, what is that? And I look up, and then a jetliner hits me in the face. Okay. Then you could win.
Okay, that would be a scenario in which I would win. One of many possible in reality. Anyway, I have pulled the cards.
Are you $3 juice drunk right now?
No, I am not.
Are you hobo drunk, Clara?
I am not. Do
you know that you have the diet of a hobo?
No, I eat very healthy.
Well, I'm okay. Your junk food is the diet of a hobo.
Yes.
You have a lot of hobo qualities. Do you have a plimpkin?
A plimpkin? What is that?
That's that stick with the kerchief with all their junk in it.
Oh, isn't that a bindle?
I thought that was a plimpkin.
Well, this might be what ends our friendship.
Someone's going to tell me a plimpkin is actually when you're in Cleveland with two hookers.
I know, and, right? It's very that you.
I'm like, oh man, how did that get in my head?
All right, are you done making references to mathematical formulae so that I can read you these cards?
Well said. Yes.
Okay, I have pulled my cards, and I think fate may actually be on my side this time because I am a vampire slayer, and I'm radioactive. I'm not sure how useful that is. Might not be good for me either, but in movies, being radioactive never seems to hurt monsters. And I can spray neurotoxins. So I'm a very, very chemically sort of character. Like I would be definitely colored bright green in a story. So okay,
I thought you were just reading your bio.
Yeah, no, this is my bio as far as boys see it. Anyway, here's yours. Prepare for your fate, sir.
Radioactive proof.
All right, you are a cactus.
Maniacal. Wow. I'm liking this part of you. No wonder why you like Rocky so much.
You're a cactus.
My gosh. Take it, Adrian.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to see if you have any redeeming qualities at all that can save you from my amazing,
We're gonna
powerful...
see.
You have. Okay. You can fly if nobody is watching.
Okay.
Okay. And you're armed with catarangs, which I assume are just the cat version of batarangs.
Okay, now I'm gonna punch whoever made this game in the grundle.
Oh, does it suck kind of losing kind of once, maybe?
I don't think you've won yet there, senorita.
I'm so sorry. Okay, well, here we go. Well, I'm going to be nice.
You better win now. I hope you know there, Mr. or Mrs. McGregor.
Oh, we're going to play that card.
I'm going to break your ankle.
I'm going to my ankle. I'm
going to break your ankle, woman.
It just snaps. Oh, gosh. Okay, all right. So I'm a vampire slayer. I'm awesome. I'm gonna assume I'm no, she's an actual vampire. I was about to say what's her name from Underworld, but no. She's an actual vampire. Who's a vampire slayer? I'm gonna say I'm Blade. So I'm Blade. I'm actually Blade. I'm giant, impressive, terrifying, built Wesley Snipes.
Gotcha.
With a lot of weird weapons. And a lot of leather that I'm wearing out in the desert because I'm being accommodating to you. I'm meeting you where you're at, which is actually, you could also be a potted, you could be a potted cactus and just like, sitting outside an orthodontist's office or something. Actually, screw everything. You're a potted cactus sitting outside an orthodontist's office in a strip mall in Pittsburgh. And
I'm going to beat you even acquiescing. Keep going.
I walk up to you and I say some sort of, smart-mouthed line that was clearly scripted by someone who wasn't me.
Is this the first draft of the screenplay?
Yeah.
Insert joke.
Yeah, exactly. He walks up and says, insert joke.
Clever one-liner.
And he takes, okay, let's see. I'm radioactive, so I've already destroyed a lot of your plant filaments. A lot of your chlorophyll are already shriveling up even as I approach. And I've very generously cleared out the populace, so there's no people around. That is generous
of you.
It is generous of me because Blade usually does not care about collateral damage. But I've cleared out the populace because I am very generous, and I know that nobody wants to see the horror of me slaughtering a cactus in broad daylight because he's a daywalker. Broad daylight, I'm going to kill this cactus because whatever it did. So even my approach is already withering your poor fragile plant parts. And I'm also just spraying neurotoxin, I assume, from my mouth. I'm squirting neurotoxin from my eyeballs.
You're making a lot of boys sweat right now.
I switched it. I'm spraying neurotoxin from my eyeballs. I'm like those people that can suck up milk and squirt it out of their tear duct. So I'm spraying.
I actually like this new Clara.
What? The Clara that wins sometimes?
You haven't won yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you are a cactus now. So you are already dying from radioactivity. I'm covering you in neurotoxins, and I have a million flamboyantly bladed weapons that I fling at you, and I turn you into a literal pulp, and you melt onto the sidewalk, and I don't even let you run down the drain because you're radioactive now. I very politely collect you into a hazmat disposal bucket and take you back to whoever the guy is, who's the doctor guy, it's not Ron Perlman, it's the other guy, it's the other old guy. But,
yeah, character actor.
Yeah, beard guy. And I even break the flower pot you were in just for good measure. Like I do that as I leave, as I'm carting away all the radioactive glowing buckets of dead cactus ooze. I kick that bucket and I say my last one-liner. It's like, and that was the whole thing. And
Forgot this was still first draft of the screenplay.
Yeah,
but I better be credited.
Yeah, he breaks the flower pot and just says parting line. and then he walks it when he puts his sunglasses back on and walks away with the buckets, and there's like people in the foreground staring, like people like really white bread people in like cardigans, like
white bread people. I love when you use these harmless slurs, Clara. It's wonderful.
Yeah, like foreground, like cul-de-sac people in a Spielberg movie. They're all just like wearing their cardigans and their khakis, and they're just like, oh.
What are they like?
They're do you need another take on that one? They're like, oh.
They're 3 octaves of lame.
Well, except the one who's like, oh.
That we don't talk to that neighbor.
No, that's a very strange neighbor. That's a weirdo. But anyway, that is how I destroyed the cactus. And there are infinite ways I could destroy this cactus because I'm Blade and I'm toxic in multiple ways and you're a plant and you can't do anything.
Toxic indeed, but unfortunately...
You can fly if nobody's watching, but we're all watching, and you have throwing blades, but you're plant, you're cactus. All right. The patrons will absolve me. Do your worst.
Okay, so there's a fatal flaw here. All of the things you just said took place in a deep hallucination of your character, because on the way to battle me, you're covered. Yes, shut your pretty little mouth,
you bastard.
While I talk. I was very patient and so kind. On your way to fighting me, you succumb to your extreme levels of radiation, and you wake up delirious because all your cells are coming apart. Mm-hmm. One, from being around too many vampires, and everybody knows they got vampire herpes. And you're actually in stage 4 of a vampiric gonorrhoeasyphilades fit.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
When you succumb, unfortunately, to your severe catastrophic radiation poison.
You can't just invent cards.
Hey, lady, I'm using only the card. Do you know how many rolls you just went through with my character without me saying anything?
Well, yeah, that's how it works. That's how the game works. Fine,
well, then
go for it.
Shut your teeth.
Do your worst. Do your worst.
Get the pie hole shut. So while you're melting to death in an emergency ward where you're so far gone, the doctors have moved to draining bunions on cranky old women to actually do something productive. Mm-hmm. As you're dying, to basically your ego, to prevent yourself from your last parting thoughts, telling yourself, I am a giant loser queef. Your body invents this hallucination, what you just did, to make you think you even fought me, and much less won. Wasn't real. It's all a dream. You had too much radiation poisoning. You're not a superhero. You're just a person that fights vampires. Radiation still affects you, dummy.
Can I still be Wesley Snipes, though?
Yes, that's the problem, is Wesley Snipes half human. So he's melting. And we haven't exactly established if vampires can withstand severe, or even if you were half vampire, can regular vampires withstand radiation poisoning? So
that's actually a very interesting question that pop culture has not explored.
So
next blockbuster, I called it.
Better send me a check. Better send me a check, loser, because I just whipped your ass. guess who just lost because you never made it to the fight because you're melting in a disease ward where lepers shun you.
You know what?
And your pathetic ego has to invent things so your parting thoughts aren't, I'm a giant dork. I'm a big, smelly vampire fighting dork. And vampires in this reality are benevolent, lovely people. And your bigotry for them is intolerable. So when you die, the world collectively starts a GoFundMe for a statue with you melting and somebody kicking you in your vampire nuts. It's considered maybe the greatest statue ever made. They tear down 300 Confederate statues and put yours up with you melting.
Well,
so,
at least they have a legacy, right?
You shouldn't have had radiation poisoning. You thought it was going to help you. It's not the movies. You died.
You
died with. You were actually like the dude from This Is How You Died. With your last parting words, you looked exactly like the dude that got out of the toxic sludge in RoboCop, and you go, "Help me, help me," and then you just melt. Right. As RoboCop, he isn't even in the movie. He drives by and splatters you.
Oh, okay. Well,
and then Rocky gets back to, I don't know, Adrian. I didn't hear you say no. It just pushed you into the hallway and onto the ground, and I wasn't listening.
Oh. Well,
it's such a horrible scene.
It is. You're right. I'd forgotten about it. I think I blocked it out.
See, your mind blocks it out because it's an A+ movie.
Yeah. You want to like it. Yeah. Well, you did an amazing job there inventing a reality not presented in any way by the cards. So good job. That was
I was following your lead, and I just burp shamed you. Boo. So how does it feel to be a loser when you're given a hand that couldn't lose?
I really wouldn't know.
You think there's enough desperate boys to bring you home?
I really don't think the desperation of the boys has anything to do with it. It's about the cards. And
I want to see the votes cast and be proven wrong.
You will. I believe you won this last one, obviously, because you decided to be naked Keanu wearing a meat scarf, attacking an octopus on the beach.
A level of brilliance I've forgotten about. Thank you. You're welcome for that, by the way.
You're very welcome. Yeah, well, I was laughing about that this morning when I was thinking about recording. It's like he went there. He was like, "Well, we'll just have
lean in."
Keanu. Yeah, it's like this will work. It's like it did.
Yeah, good old Keanu. Oops, hit the phone. So yeah, I'm really anxious to see if the fans are like me and realize how brilliant my strategy was.
I'm not saying it's not brilliant, but it's definitely not fair play.
I honestly don't understand what you're saying with that. You gave me like 3, you're this, you're that. I didn't even get to speak yet. You gave me like 30 rules and I hadn't even gone yet.
That's because you always insist I go first because you think that makes it easier for you to win.
No, I'm just letting you get your blathering out without interrupting.
Oh,
otherwise it'd start hyperventilating if I went first.
Well, time will tell. We will find out in 2 weeks when the votes are all cast.
Yeah.
When the time is upon us.
I implore myself to fans to use logic and reason and understand that Clara, in her extreme hubris, just got
that Wesley
smashed.
Snipes. Radioactive Wesley Snipes defeating a cactus is just too ridiculous to be believed.
Here, I'll do another one. On the way to, I forgot he was Wesley Snipes. On the way to fighting me, the IRS grabbed you, put you in jail, but you were already dying from radiation poisoning, and you just melt in a jail, fantasizing about defeating me in a fight that you never had.
See, that one I buy. That one is clever, sir. You got me. You got me there. Oh, I hope they stop listening before they hear that one, because then I actually have a chance of losing with that one.
Well, it's yeah, the Wesley Snipes angle's actually pretty darn good. So
You're right. You're right. I'll give you that one since you seem to need it so bad.
ooh, I need it. Clara, I need it. Probably none of the things Zach needs.
He needs fictional Wesley Snipes justice.
Yes, I need the IRS too. This crazy criminal we had to put in jail, Wesley Snipes, for some reason. So yeah,
what did he actually do? I barely know.
Tax evasion, $3 million or whatever.
That's like
since he wasn't a white politician, he had to go to jail.
Yeah, that's like such a celebrity thing to do, though. Like, you have to have so much extra money to be even on the hook for tax evasion, I feel like.
Well, if I remember correctly, there was like this like guru to the stars, and one of them got like him and who was the gorgeous singer from the Fugees?
There's a lot of them.
Not a lot of gorgeous singers from the Fugees.
Oh, okay. Just in general.
Can't remember. I forgot you're so white.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
She's wonderful, but it was the same guy that I think got her into trouble for tax evasion. Basically, if you took this guy's advice, you went to jail. I can't remember, but he was like some philosophy guy and was basically unfortunately telling like black celebrities they don't have to pay taxes.
Whoa.
And I don't know the exact details, and I'm sorry, people, if I got a few things wrong, but look it up. I think Wesley Snipes was kind of victim of the same idiot. That being said, just fine him for the money. Why are we taking people that make money for our society out of society when they're nonviolent criminals? And two, got bad advice. Just make them pay a fine.
That's not even bad advice, though. That's just like...
We have politicians insider trading every day, and Wesley Snipes gets bad advice, and we put the dude in jail for forever, you know, or 3 years or something like that.
That's bonkers.
Who was the ex-GOP? We had a politician from the 90s that wanted to kill drug dealers. Him and Gingrich put a thing out there. And he is the head of, I think he was the majority leader of the Congress, whatever. But he was basically convicted of raping who knows how many kids.
Yeah.
0 days in jail.
Yeah.
0 days in jail.
I was just thinking of Nicolas Cage too. Didn't he that was his situation where he wasn't paying his taxes and it was someone else's fault. And he's just having to pay back taxes now. He didn't go to jail.
He should go to jail for the movies he made, though. So
some of them are amazing. Like
Raising Arizona, one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, he's one of those actors with two settings: amazing and terrifying.
Yeah, it's
he's a strange man.
He's a strange man. But you know, not everybody can be super normal like me.
Right, of course. In your axe wielding ways.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know, Clara. So sorry if I whipped your butt on Superfight. You died in prison.
Yeah. And we'll find out.
You melted in prison in a hallucination. You thought you fought me, and I was doing other things that were really fun.
You're doing cool cactus things like a cool cactus does.
Hanging out in the desert. U2 was taking pictures by me for their Gross album that for some reason got super popular, and Where the Streets Have No Name. And yeah, I don't know. If it wasn't for me, I guess we wouldn't have Irish superstars that give the Pope his glasses.
I forget that he is Irish. That's crazy.
Yeah, because he's the international worst cultural origin, and that's douchebaggery and bad art. I'll never understand how that band got so popular. Oh.
There's one thing I'll always say about you is you have opinions about music.
You like that? That's because I'm awesome.
I don't have any opinions about your opinion about music.
Bad art is a crime.
You say so.
Thank you.
I will
You hear
take your
that,
word for it.
everyone? I make the rules. Clara put me in charge. If you don't like it, fire her. At PG-13 with Clara and Zach. Come watch us. Subscribe. Smash that button, as Clara likes to say. Smash it.
I always say that. Beware of
Smash
king
it.
cactus.
Smash it. Smash it like her melting ooze body got smashed into the mop. How her funeral was just some day or night laborer listening to, I don't know. So I was trying to think of something stupid.
It was the night custodian just mopping me up.
Yep, that was your demise. You shouldn't have been radioactive, because Wesley Snipes, that can't survive radioactivity. It's really unfortunate.
Well, I think you're still victim blaming. It's not my fault I was radioactive. That's usually an accident of some kind.
Touche. But despite making me laugh, you lost.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Get the hell out of here. This episode's over. We're tired of you. Clara has to pack her bags and get her melty butt out of here. She gave all you lonely boys some sweaty verbal treats to bide your time until the next.
Just imagine me being snapped in half by a pair of eyeballs.
Oh no, maybe you should just stand in the hallway with me and I just kind of push you down.
No.
This is just the greatest movie, but they know I'm a date rapist.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable.
I know it is, and you keep bringing it up.
Things have to be addressed, Clara.
You're right, they do, but how many times?
Rocky being a date rapist, the problems with being radioactive and a vampire hunter, and most importantly, how often you lose and smell.
Yeah, we are very insensitive to radioactive vampires in our culture, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do better, Clara. Yep. Don't Ron it up.
That's right. The return of Ron. The triumphant return of Ron Monroe.
Anytime Ron comes up, we got to put a fork in things.
That's right. That signals the end for sure.
I have a soca game to go to, and
that's right.
Soca, as Americans likes to say.
Yes.
The funniest thing is, like, I watch like sports station like ESPN. They'll talk all, American English, and then the American word for football will come on. And they'll go with a British accent, soca.
Oh, that's so funny. That's adorable.
They would knife you if you said that in like a bar in Scotland.
Yeah.
Soca.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's just like when you see fantasy movies, they have to have a British accent.
Yeah, because that's how you can tell they're in medieval France.
Hello.
Yeah. Well, welcome to France. Hello.
Welcome to France. It's the Middle Ages. It is.
All right. Let's wrap this thing up. We did a good one.
With PG-13 with Clarfa and Zach. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I'm Zach. That's Clara. Those were absolutely stunning inks. There are her beautiful fingers. Here are my, what they call model-esque fingers.
Yep.
If you're in Flintstone universe. And we will see you next time on another exciting episode of PG-13 with Clara and the loser.